Hello students, and welcome to the last effects tutorial. This one is going to be much shorter than the first one. And the first set of effects were pretty mild and they were easy to do. You could see them a little bit on the screen when you were watching, but more so when you were doing it. And I want to look at two main effects in this particular tutorial. So open up your template, and I have two black and white photos that we're going to use for this particular tutorial. The first effect is called satin, and it's really simple. Like you always do the same thing. You want to make sure you're on your black arrow, click effects, and go to satin. And we want to change this to pink so you can see it and hit OK. The opacity is about 50%, and I want us to take it up to 100%. The angle, the distance, the size, I want to take it all the way up to maybe, let's see, 2. And you can see that it puts this pink satin sheen on this particular picture. And with the ballet shoes and how the legs and it's just on the edges of it, it tends to make the top of the skirt look a little pink and just have that pink border around it. So that's the satin effect. Now the last effect that I want to show you is the most important and the one that students will use most often. And this is actually pretty easy to do in InDesign. And I'm going to just pull this barbell picture over here, and I'm going to go to my effects palette, and I'm going to go to this basic feathering. For whatever reason, it always leaves what you had before on there. The feather width. This is something that photographers use all the time. I'm going to take it all the way up to 2 pixels, 2.5, just so you can see it. And then you can change the corners. Let's just change the corners to make them rounded. You can do the sharp corners, rounded, or diffused. Diffused is, and we'll take a look at each one. We'll start with diffused, which is your typical feathering, and what it does is it feathers the end of your picture, kind of letting it blend in. And if we want to go back to our effects photo and we want to click on that basic feathering and we want to go to rounded, and you can see how it'll change the corners and make it rounded, which that actually looks pretty good with this barbell since it's a round object to begin with. And then the last one is sharp corners, and it does nothing with the corners, just feathers in the end. So let's also, I'm going to copy this picture here of the ballerina, and we're going to go into the directional feathering, and we'll go to effects, and we're going to just click on satin so that we can take it off. And we want to go to directional feathering, and we want to be on it. And you can feather each part of it. I just want to feather the top here, and I'm going to take it and I'm just going to feather the top 1 pixel. The shape, leading edges, I'm going to leave there. You can do all edges. Double check, make sure the satin is off. And then the directional feather is on, and hit OK, and then you can see that it just feathered the top there, and you can change the directional feathering as well. And then the last one is the gradient feather, and what we'll do is we'll use this again, and we'll go back to our effects panel, and we'll go to the gradient feather. Make sure we take the satin off, and you can change the location of it, the opacity. Options are linear and radial. Radial is round, linear is straight. And you can change the opacity just a little bit. I'm going to make the opacity darker or lighter. And you could change the direction of it. And that is all that you can do here with the object. You can do stroke or fill or text as well. You can do it for any of those. So I want to make sure, because it's still looking like, I'll make sure satin is taken off and the gradient feather is on, and we're going to hit OK, and you can see this radial feather from the inside, which kind of looks cool. So what I'd like for you to do with this tutorial is to practice with each one of these various effects and to change your pictures to represent those effects. All right, good luck.